Two Geeks, Two Beers. Episode 34, Batman, the Animated Series.
It is a stout.
Better than the last time.
So, less frothy.
Yeah.
Cheers.
This is going to be a difficult drink.
Well, hello, and welcome to a new episode of Two Geeks, Two Beers. I'm Morgan Jeffery, your drunk knight. And with me is the boy wonder. Yeah, boy. It's Tom Eames.
I always, whenever I envisioned myself as a superhero, I wasn't ever cool enough, even in my own dreams, to be like the main one. So I'd always be Robin.
You'd always be Robin.
So, yeah.
No, I'd always be Batman, obviously.
Yeah.
So, what are we talking about in this episode? Well, yes, I am doing another comic book inspired TV series quite soon after our Hulk episode. Hulk. And but that's because 2017 marks 25 years since Batman the Animated Series hit our screens. So, what are your memories of Batman the Animated Series?
Not much, to be honest. I do remember, I'm sure it was on Saturday morning telly, whether it was Live and Kicking or SMTV, one of the two.
I think it might have even predated SMTV.
Yeah.
It was early.
It might have been
You're talking early 90s.
And I do remember...
But it was on ITV. So I think it...
I do remember it being on telly, but as a lot with these comic book things, I was never into the comics. I was never really into superheroes and anything like that, so it did kind of pass me by. But I'm aware of the way Batman looked in that cartoon and looking slick and awesome.
Well, we'll get onto that. So it was a Saturday morning fixture for me, but at the time I preferred the slightly frothier kind of X-Men, which I did an X-Men episode, Spider-Man cartoons of the 90s, which that will no doubt be a future episode. But as I've grown older, I have come to appreciate Batman the Animated Series a whole lot more. Now,
you struggled with the beer, didn't you?
I'm sorry. So yeah, I was on a roll, wasn't I? I was on a strong run where I had some kind of monkey beer for Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
I had my Gamma Ray beer for the Hulk episode. We're drinking a dark stout for an episode about the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Guinness for an extra.
See, our problem is
imported.
We don't. It's not like we know what we're doing months in advance that we could plan the beers.
So just stop there. See, our problem is we don't know what we're doing. Cheers. I'll drink to that. Quite nice though.
I mean, I do like Guinness, and this is a very stouty Guinness, so I'm never going to be annoyed about that.
So, as we drink our dark stout, let me tell you about the Dark Knight. So, Batman the Animated Series it premiered on the Fox Network's children's block, Fox Kids, on September the 5th, 1992. Going on to win 4 Emmy Awards.
So was this after Keaton?
Yes, so we'll get on to that.
Okay.
So yeah, it won 4 Emmy Awards, including Outstanding Animated Programme. It was developed by writer-producer Bruce Timm and artist-producer Eric Radomski. And it aired on Fox Kids from September 5th, 1992 to September 15th, 1995, putting out a total of 85 episodes.
Wow.
It was aired as two...
Small episode of Red Dwarf.
Yeah, and it was aired as 2 seasons of 65 and 20 episodes. So that first season transmitted over an entire year.
Bloody hell.
In the wake of the success of Tim Burton's 1989 Batman.
You know what happened to this guy, Jack? Made mistakes. And then he had us. Lights out! Now you want to get nuts! Come on! Let's get nuts. Tell me something, my friend. You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? What? I always ask that of all my prey. Never rub another man's rhubarb.
Bruce Timm and Eric Radomski produced a 2-minute animated short called The Dark Knight's First Night as a taster for Fox executives, a kind of like mini pilot. And you can see that pilot. It's available to watch at all the usual places online, although the original audio has been lost. And the pilot's narrative, in which Batman foils a jewellery heist on a rooftop, was later reused for the final show's first opening sequence, set to Danny Elfman's theme from
I come back from Mars and just think, God, that was shoddy, wasn't it?
both badass in their own way.
But I'm sure you get onto it. But there's still the old Batman sort of animated movie thing. Is that in this world?
I will get onto that.
Is it? Is it in this world?
You're correct.
Oh, okay.
Some of them, some aren't.
Okay.
But
bloody good animation.
it's good, right? It looks slick even now. And an interesting factoid: the title of the show never actually appears on screen. The producers apparently decided that since Batman was an instantly recognisable character, that anyone in any language would be able to tell what the show is about, so you don't have the name of the character on screen.
Beatles' White Album. Fuck it. We're good enough without it.
Very much like that. So the show is chiefly known as Batman the Animated Series, or just plain Batman, but really doesn't actually have a title.
Yeah.
So after that Dark Knight's first night mini pilot, Fox were impressed, but they had concerns about the rather adult tone of the planned series. However, Tim and Radomski were given the green light to produce a second full-length pilot episode, On Leather Wings, which, according to Tim, got a lot of people off our backs. Their inspirations for the series, beyond just the two Burton movies, which were at the time, so by this time Batman Returns had also come out, but their inspirations were Art Deco designs, the film noir genre, and a series of acclaimed Superman animated shorts produced by Fleischer Studios in the early 1940s.
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings at a single bound, this amazing stranger from the planet Krypton, the Man of Steel, Superman. Possessing remarkable physical strength, Superman fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice, disguised as a mild-mannered newspaper reporter, Clark Kent.
Now, I don't know if I'm a little bit drunk, but I was watching that and just mesmerised by how good the animation was.
Fantastic
in the
animation.
1940s, and that looked just as good as the Batman thing you just showed me.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Yeah. There you go. So, well, they were very influential, those early animated shorts. And, as we discussed, one of the reasons that Batman the Animated Series is generally held in higher regard than its comic book TV contemporaries like X-Men and Spider-Man, which were also on the Fox network, was its superior level of animation.
So why was that?
It was just
better.
Just better. There was more thought that went into the design of it. A lot of thought went into the design and the look of this series. So the visual style was based on the artwork of Radomski, a style that came to be known as Dark Deco, with animators painting on black paper rather than the usual white to create a stark and striking look for the series. And like Burton's movies, but even more so, the animated series fused old style architecture with futuristic technology. So you'd have Bruce Wayne's incredible gadgets, but alongside vintage cars, police airships, which were never a thing, but it's cool, isn't it?
It looks good.
And black and white television sets, all of which gave the series an oddly nostalgic yet futuristic feel. Now, casting. The casting was across the board fantastic, most significantly in the casting of the Dark Knight and his chief nemesis, So over 150 actors auditioned for the part of Batman before Kevin Conroy came in and nailed the part, much to his own surprise.
The whole experience was so bizarre. It just doesn't happen. It was the first animated character I ever auditioned for. I had never done animation. I had only done theater and television, and I'd done commercial voiceovers to supplement my New York theater habit. And my voiceover agent said, "Oh, they're putting together a new series over at Warner Brothers. Go read for it. It's Batman." And I didn't even know it had never been an animated series. I said, "Batman? That's been around forever. Of course, that's already been a series." And he said, No. There's never been an animated show of Batman. It was just the Adam West TV show. But this is the first. So I went in completely naive. It was just an actor going into a booth and improvising. I didn't know who Bruce Timm was, or Paul Dini, or Andrea Romano. I mean, these people were stars in their field. I didn't know who any of them were. So it was a blessing because I was completely unintimidated. I had no anticipation of what to expect from myself, and I just winged it. And it was just a bizarre coincidence of the right actor for the right role at the right time, because they offered it to me on the spot. Wow. And Andrea told me that they'd seen over 500 people. She said, "We cannot find this character, and you just walked in." So it was just... And the reason I think I nailed it was because I approached it as I would a classical role. When they described to me... Because they said, "What do you know about Batman?" And I said, "Well, I know the Adam West show from the 70s. And they said, No, that's not what we're doing. We love Adam West, but that was campy, and that was broad, and that's not Batman. It's they said that the film noir, the darkness, the tragedy of his childhood, his parents murdered before him, living in a cave, 2 personalities." I said, "My God, you're describing a classic tragic hero. This is like Hamlet's story. This is so tragic." And he said, "Well," Bruce Timm said, "Well, no one's made that analogy. You just go with it, see where it goes." So I approached it the way you would a great Shakespeare tragedy or a Greek, Orestes, a Greek tragic hero. It's that kind of tragic passion in the character. And it led me to this dark, brooding kind of place that was perfect for the role. So it was just a bizarre hand-in-glove kind of thing where the right actor for the right role happened to walk into the room on the right day.
Of the role, Conroy said, "Batman is who he is. That's not the role." And I think that's a trap that a lot of the live-action actors fall into when they put on a voice and it sounds weird. It's because they're putting on a voice instead of being the voice. Like audiences can see it. So when Christian Bale's going, "Swear to me!"
You'll be in a battle cage forever. What? I said you'd be in a cage forever. Oh, right. Okay.
Gotcha. Whereas the way Conroy saw it, Batman's the real deal. Bruce Wayne is the persona that he puts on. I think it goes a little bit deeper than that in Conroy's performance. So he sort of perfects 3 very distinct vocal performances. So you've got Bruce Wayne, who's this kind of suave but bore.
Don't care for the decor?
Not hardly. All those horrible faces grinning at me. That would do things to my mind after a while.
So he's like, "Oh, I'm Bruce Wayne, great, it's great being rich and handsome." Then you've got Batman, who's, he's terrifying the criminals, he's the criminal scourge.
I'm still going to work toward a city that doesn't need Batman.
Me too.
And then you've got his real voice, which is sort of somewhere in the middle.
I'm not looking for any illegal favors.
What then?
Something you know. Something only you can give me. Tell me about my father.
He kind of talks like he's a little bit of the Gravel, but also a little bit of the Bruce Wayne. So it's clever. Yeah. It's layered. And so universally praised was Conroy's work that he still periodically returns to the role of the Caped Crusader. Most recently in the video game Injustice 2, which only came out this year.
You've got to lighten up a little. What part of Dark Knight don't you get?
And also the animated film Batman and Harley Quinn, which was produced again this year to mark the original show's silver anniversary. Now, the Joker. You know who plays the Joker?
Was it Mark Hamill?
It is Mark Hamill.
I didn't know it was in this series. I know he does the Joker.
Yeah.
It was
So this is where Mark Hamill first played the Joker. Originally cast as the Joker, Tim Curry. Who's, of course, he's back in sort of public consciousness at the moment because of the It remake just come out in cinemas.
Drop the gun. Pick up the gun. Drop the gun.
An underrated role in Tim Curry's
Loaded Weapon 1.
Back catalogue. Loaded Weapon 1.
Drop your gun, Mr. Luger. I don't have one. You are not carrying a weapon. Don't believe in them. Pick up the gun. Drop the gun, Mr. Luger.
And Clue.
Clue.
Can we do a Tim Curry episode?
We're going to do a Tim Curry episode. Definitely. So Tim Curry was initially cast as the voice of the Joker, but after recording audio for 4 episodes, he was replaced by Mark Hamill. It's long been said that Curry's take on the role was considered too scary for kids, although Curry recently alleged that producers fired him after he contracted bronchitis and was unable to continue recording. Bit harsh.
Bit of a dick move.
Yeah, a bit of a dick move.
Kicking a man while he's down. Bronchitis.
Mark Hamill, famous of course as star of the Star Wars Holiday Special, he ended up creating a second performance which was just as iconic as Luke Skywalker, in playing the Clown Prince of Crime.
I've become familiar with him over the years. I'm very, very fond of him. I hate, again, should be on a psychiatrist's couch somewhere, not in front of a camera. But you kind of, it's like putting on an old pair of running shoes or, that pair of jeans, your lucky pair of jeans. Once you get into his mind, it's really welcoming. I mean, it's liberating in a way because he gets to do so many things that I can't do in civilized society. I mean, I love his ego. I love his humor, his theatricality. I really enjoy him in ways I can't say. And
nothing like a moonlight dip, eh, Mr. Mayor?
Please, just make your ransom demands and get on with it.
Oh, no ransom this time, Hammy.
You can't mean...
Oh, yes, indeedy do. Instead of taking you, the cops, and the Batman down separately, I'm going to blast you all at once. Send down the plane, boys. We're blowing town. Literally.
He did the Joker in all the Arkham games as well, didn't he?
Yeah, as did Kevin Conroy, did the voice of Batman in all the Arkham games, yeah.
Great games.
So my only bugbear with the casting at the time, so there's this guy Ed Azner, right?
I've heard of Ed Azner. What is he?
Well, he's a very famous actor. He was in... Now I can't think of anything.
Ed Azner. Wasn't he the one in the X-Files Christmas special we talked about?
Yes.
It was like starring Ed Azner.
Starring Ed Azner. Yeah, check back our first Christmas episode.
Still alive, 87 years old.
Yeah, no, Ed Azner, an actor and a voice actor.
He was Carl in Up.
There we go.
Alright.
Also, most known for his role as Lou Grant in the Mary Tyler Moore Show and its spin-off series, Lou Grant.
And Santa and Elf.
Yes. So he did the voice of this crime boss, Roland Daggett, right, in Batman. But he also played Spider-Man's boss, J. Jonah Jameson, in Fox's 90s Spider-Man cartoon series.
That's confusing.
It was distracting because they had the same voice. Yeah. It was a bit like an early precursor to where we are now, where Tom Hardy is cast as Venom.
Yeah.
Just 5 years after playing Bane, Lawrence Fishburne can be Perry White and in Ant-Man 2, and Ryan Reynolds has played every single superhero at least once.
You're not allowed, once you're in one cinematic universe, you're not allowed another one?
Shouldn't be allowed. At least for like 15 years. You shouldn't.
It's like when copyright runs out, you're allowed those.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that actor's back in the public domain and can once more be cast in comic book movies. There's enough actors.
Yeah.
Stop casting the same actors in comic book movies. Seriously. Lawrence Fishburne, he's still doing Perry White.
Yeah.
Can't jump back and forth.
It definitely can't be in two at once.
No. I miss the days when Marvel and DC were like proper rivals and there was no crossover. Anyway, so another big reason that Batman the Animated Series stood out was its tone. So like other animated series on Fox at the time, it was subject to censorship. Though nothing as ludicrous as Spider-Man's pigeon protecting ruling, as we referenced previously. So there were no open wounds were allowed.
Oh,
It's
fuck it then. Can't have an open wound.
Can't have a gaping wound.
Ah.
Let's just pack it in, guys. No blood, no heavy gun violence, no strangling or neck grabs. No fun, basically. No alcohol references, and no smoking, and no child endangerment. Which meant that when Robin was later introduced to the show, he had to
be like 19 at least.
Yeah, exactly. He had to be portrayed as a young adult rather than a young teen because you couldn't show a child being in danger.
I suppose, though, it kind of works because Batman doesn't want to kill anyone, so there's not going to be much blood on his watch.
I mean, but you got the Joker and the Penguin tooling about and these pretty vicious villains. Doesn't really work, but. let's just go with it. However, nonetheless, the team behind Batman the Animated Series kind of worked around the censorship. So characters did sustain visible injuries. Villains fire realistic firearms, unlike in, say, X-Men or Spider-Man, where there's laser guns. But more importantly, the show also tackled real issues like drug addiction, disfigurement, poverty, loneliness, and the tone is often as pitch black. The visuals. I came up with that. I like that. And so the show originally aired on weekday afternoons at 4:30 p.m. But in December, just 3 months after its debut, Fox also began airing episodes of the series on primetime Sunday evenings. So it was something that was intended as a Saturday morning kids cartoon, but ended up airing in primetime.
You could do both.
It could do both. Now I know what you're thinking. What are some of my favourite episodes? Well, I'll tell you, listeners. I
don't know how you knew I was thinking.
I can just read your mind. We're in sync at this point, having done 34 episodes of Two Geeks. So, of course, with so many episodes produced, not every one is going to be a winner. And the less said about The Forgotten...
Was there a Christmas one in which he makes dinner with Poison Ivy?
No, but there was The Forgotten, in which Bruce Wayne loses his memory and becomes a champion of the homeless.
Okay.
Let's move on from that. But there are some real belters across the original 85 episode run. Highlights include Season 1, Episode 4 and 5, which is the disturbing two-parter Feet of Clay, which features a fantastic guest performance from Ron Perlman as Matt Hagen, a disfigured movie actor transformed by cruel crooks into the monstrous Clayface. Now, talking about the kind of the adult tone of Batman the Animated Series, this scene, in which thugs drown Hagen in the chemical he needs to fix his disfigured face, this scene shit me up as a kid. This scene absolutely gave me nightmares as a kid, and I still find it a little bit unsettling now, if I'm honest.
Let's have a look.
Come on, Hagen, we're going for a little ride. Forget it! I know what that means!
Clayface, but some fun Saturday morning cartoon. That
was like something out of a Tarantino film. But that reminded me of it was either X-Men or X-Men 2 where that politician just turned into water.
Oh yeah, the first X-Men
still
movie.
Freaked me out. That
one.
That was really horrible.
It's a bit too far.
Too far. That one.
Don't turn people into goo.
No.
I don't like it. I don't like when people turn into goo.
You can't,
because you can't come back from that. Another top episodes, season 1, episode 7, the chilling and hilarious Joker's Favour, in which sad sack family man Charlie Collins.
Did you write sad sack?
I did.
I think that was in the official description.
No, I like the word sad sack. Sad sack family man Charlie Collins is ruthlessly manipulated by the Joker. Season 1, episode 13, the Rashomon-inspired POV, which examines a failed bust from the perspective of 3 different cops. There's season 1, episode 14, big fan favourite, this one, Heart of Ice, which transformed Mr. Freeze into a tragic figure. More on that later.
Even if you have to kill everyone in the building to do it.
Think of it, Batman. To never again walk on a summer's day with a hot wind in your face and a warm hand to hold. Oh yes, I'd kill for that.
And then there was also season 1, episode 18, Beware the Grey Ghost, in which Adam West makes a knowing cameo as Simon Trent, an actor who, as his TV alter ego, the Grey Ghost, inspired a young Bruce Wayne.
This place is amazing. It's just like the Grey Ghost's lair. It's almost an exact replica. Let me show you something else. As a kid, I used to watch you with my father. The Grey Ghost was my hero. So it wasn't all for nothing.
And I was lucky enough to speak to Kevin Conroy recently, and he said of Adam West, he was just one of those great gentlemen of the business. He was classy. He had a deep sense of decency about him. He was so respectful of other actors and very respectful of the material. There was a real dignity about him. He never made me feel like I was less. And I was a little nervous meeting him for the first time because I was filling his cowl. But he was so cool about it. He said, I had so much fun playing this role. It's your turn. Then have a blast. Oh. Great guy, Adam West.
While we're here, should we do a little toast to Adam West?
We should, because we didn't do a tribute, and here we go.
Yeah.
To Adam West.
Yes.
The Bright Knight.
You know, I've been dear friends with Adam starting 15 minutes before our screen test. In July of 1965, in 5 minutes, the two of us talking, we're laughing. We never stopped laughing. 50 years of laughing.
Another of my, doesn't get a lot of shout-outs, but another of my favourite episodes is Season 1, Episode 24, Mad as a Hatter, a moving tale of loneliness and obsession, which reimagines another cartoonish Batman villain, the Mad Hatter, played by Roddy McDowall, the star of the Planet of the Apes series.
Yeah.
It reimagines the Mad Hatter as a sad, desperate figure, obsessed with a pretty young woman.
Hamill.
Alice?
Oh, Billy!
Would not, could not, would not, could not, oh, could not join the dance.
Jesus.
It's tough, that. That's tough. It's a tough watch.
Didn't get that in Stephen University.
And then you got my personal favourite episode, which is Season 1, Episode 6, It's Never Too Late, which is almost entirely absent of comic book trappings and supervillains and superpowers. And it tells the story of Batman's efforts to show a crime boss the error of his ways, exploring issues like drug abuse and PTSD.
Joey!
Yes, and he's lucky. He'll pull through.
Connie! Why didn't you call me?
I didn't know until today. I'd never have known if it weren't for Batman. Don't get any closer. The nurse said not to disturb him.
I'll find the guy who got him hooked.
Just look in the mirror. It was your drugs and your people who sell them. I left you to get away from what you're doing. Our son wasn't so lucky.
Help stop it, Stromwell. All your power and money has bought you as an empire of misery.
What do you want me to do?
Close down the organization. Talk to the DA. Turn in all the records. It has to stop, Stromwell. It has to stop. Now.
An Empire of Misery. Good band name. And then to cap off a fantastic run, so in 1993, Bruce Timm, Eric Radomski, writer-producer Paul Dini and their team produced a feature-length animated Batman adventure. So it was originally intended as a direct-to-video release, but Mask of the Phantasm impressed studio executives so much that it was granted a theatrical release. Have you ever seen that? Mask of the Phantasm?
No, I've heard of it.
It's fantastic. I've got it on DVD. We'll watch it after this. Right? It tells the story of Bruce Wayne falling in love, and he must choose between a chance at happiness and his sworn duty to fight injustice. And for me, it is one of the best Batman movies. I mean, live action, animated, whatever.
What am I still doing this for?
It's gotta be one or the other. I can't have it both ways. I can't put myself on the line as long as there's someone waiting for me to come home.
Miss Beaumont would be glad to know you feel that way, Master Bruce. She's holding on line 1, sir. Master Bruce?
Alfred, I can't. Not now.
What shall I say, sir?
I don't know. I just don't know! It doesn't mean I don't care anymore. I don't want to let you down, honest, but it just doesn't hurt so bad anymore. You can understand that, can't you? Look, I can give money to the city. They can hire more cops. Let someone else take the risk. But it's different now. Please. I need it to be different now. I know I made a promise, but I didn't see this coming. I didn't count on being happy. Please, tell me that it's okay.
Maybe they already have. Maybe they sent me.
Bruce Wayne, he loves her so much, he almost can't hack it.
Yeah.
The film was not a financial success. Upon its initial release. It grossed just $5.6 million on a budget of $6 million. However,
DVD sales?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was a huge hit with critics and fans, and has since become a commercial success through its various home video releases. Do you know Predator? Just going on a complete tangent.
Yeah.
Predator, apparently, like they had what they said was the budget, and then apparently, because like filming in a jungle and shit, it cost like a shit ton more than they admitted, and so they were like, they were like, we said Predator was a hit. Actually, Predator broke even in like 2003 from DVD sales. But it's clearly films that bomb at the box office. So some of my favourites. Yeah. There's always this bit in there. It's episode where
what happened next?
Yeah, we love something and it's like now.
Yeah.
It's fair to say that season 2 of the now retitled The Adventures of Batman and Robin doesn't hold up as well as the preceding.
Just don't put Robin in there. No one cares about Robin.
It never ends. What is it?
No.
Batman Forever.
Yeah.
Robin.
Yeah.
No. Despite the success of the first season, Fox were still dissatisfied and saw fit to impose changes on the show. So as the new name of the show suggests, Robin, played by Lauren Lester, was now featured prominently in most episodes, and the series as a whole took on a more light-hearted feel. This new Batman still had some good episodes, but didn't feel quite as fresh and exciting as the series once did. It was clear that a change was needed. So following a 3-year break, in which time Bruce, Tim and Paul Dini, they focused their attentions on a new Superman cartoon, because again they were big Superman fans from those old Fleischer cartoons. But then after a 3-year break, the WB requested new Batman episodes and a revamped version of the show, slightly more basic, stripped back animation style, that ran for 24 episodes to great acclaim in the late 90s.
You work with me, Tim. You follow the rules. Rule number 1, you give me everything you've got. Rule number 2, then you give me more. And rule number 3, I make the rules.
Watch out for that last one, kid. It's a killer.
Dick.
My word.
Hey, no one can be a boy wonder forever.
That was all very sexual.
Several amazing things about that scene. One is that Bruce Wayne's training of Tim Drake does sound, unfortunately, rather sexual.
Grooming.
Also, the moment in which Nightwing returns to the fold and Bruce Wayne just goes, dick. It can't be helped. It cannot be helped. In 2017,
still funny.
Someone being called Dick is still funny. So, since the debut of the original Batman the Animated Series, its popularity and impact was so significant that various elements that originated in the series have been brought into the regular continuity of the Batman comics.
And characters and things.
So characters and plot devices, and so they've been brought into the comics, but also then from that into later screen adaptations, movies, and so on. So that includes the show's revamped origin for Mr. Freeze. So originally he was just this gimmicky villain who liked freezing things, because, why not? And the Batman Animated Series re-envisaged him as a tragic figure who was driven by a love for his lost wife.
So that was all from the TV series?
Yeah, so I mean...
It's Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin.
But that was the same
tackled it in not quite as powerful a fashion.
The Iceman cometh.
But yeah, that all originated from Batman Animated Series, this idea that he had this wife who was frozen, he was doing it all for her.
Arkham Asylum or City, one of them.
It had the same thing.
Yeah.
Right, one of the Arkham games. There was also a character, Gotham City Police Officer Renee Montoya, who debuted on the show and was later introduced to the comic series. But you might know this, you might not. But most famously, the character of Harley Quinn.
Yeah, I never knew this. So it originated in this.
Yeah,
very odd.
So she's for those who don't know, the Joker's sidekick and deranged love interest. She was invented for the show. Originally created for just one episode. She was only intended to appear in one episode, and was added to season 1, episode 7, Joker's Favour, which I mentioned earlier. She was added at the last minute. Paul Dini, the writer producer, he said, "I didn't really have any plan for her other than the hench girl role. She was meant to be better at getting laughs out of the other gang members than the Joker was. I gave her the name Harley Quinn because I thought Harley was a fun name for a girl, and a lot of Batman character names have a bit of a pun to them, like Enigma, Edward Enigma, the Riddler. So Harleen Quinzel was a natural fit for that. And so, yeah, the character proved so popular that she was later written into the mainstream Batman comic book continuity, and has gone on to become probably like one of the most recognised, especially at the moment, post Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
She's now one of the most recognisable after Batman, Robin, and the Joker. Maybe the fourth most prominent Batman character.
In games as well. And
Yeah.
when I was playing that, I just assumed she was in it from the 30s or something. I thought she'd been in it forever.
Well, she fits so well into that sort of established.
And one of the most popular
mythology.
Halloween outfits there is, thanks to what's her name, Margot Robbie.
This is Katana. She's got my back.
I don't think I'll ever watch it.
Cuts out, was it? Her sword retains the souls of its victims.
It will provide me nothing. I know this. There's no point in me watching it. Yeah.
I heard a very funny comment on that, which was someone was like, "Oh yeah, all these girls dressing up like Harley Quinn, so predictable." And someone was like, "Yeah, because no guys ever dressed up as Batman, did they? No, never did that. No."
Miss Quinn.
Don't you knock before entering a lady's boudoir?
I need help.
Well, you've come to the right place. I recommend a lobotomy.
The Joker's stolen a bomb. If I can't get to him in time, this city and everyone in it's going up in a mushroom cloud.
So you want me to turn squealer on Mr. J? Ha! Sorry, B-Man. No deal.
I've talked to Gordon and Dr. Bartholomew. You help me find the Joker, and they'll write your ticket out of here. If you promise no double cross.
Oh, shoot. Take all the fun out of life.
I don't have time for jokes.
Oh, okay, I promise. Shake? Oh, the irony of it. The grim, stalwart Dark Knight and his greatest female adversary fighting together to save the city.
So, in addition to Mask of the Phantasm, which we talked about in the Superman show, and the new Batman Adventures, which was that second version of the show they did, the original Batman the Animated Series also spun off Batman Beyond. Do you ever watch Batman Beyond?
No.
It was a futuristic series featuring a teenager named Terry McGinnis taking on the mantle of Batman under the guidance of an elderly Bruce Wayne. And there were also a number of Justice League series that spun off from Batman, all starring Kevin Conroy. But ultimately, though they each have their own appeal, for me, Batman Beyond, Justice League are good, but they don't quite match the brilliance of those early groundbreaking Batman episodes. It is pretty widely accepted that Batman the Animated Series is the greatest animated adaptation of a comic book character, but I'm going to be bold.
Oh.
I'm gonna suggest that it's one of the best animated series ever produced.
Whoa.
In the US, at least.
Calm down,
Period.
son.
Period.
Behave yourself.
Name me something better.
Well, any cartoon adaptation?
No, any animated series.
Or any
American animated series.
American.
It's better than that Batman the animated series.
DuckTales.
I bet you. It's good. It is good. Life is like a hurricane.
Yeah.
It speaks to me.
No, but I've heard that this is held in that kind of high regard.
Joe, we're gonna wrap up now, and we're gonna stick Mask of the Phantasm on, and I'm gonna win you over.
Yeah.
So that is more or less it for this episode of Two Geeks, Two Beers. One final note from me that if this podcast has whet your appetite, I would strongly recommend picking up the book. It's a lovely coffee table book called Batman Animated by Paul Dini and Chip Kidd, which details the show's journey from Bruce Timm's early sketches to the finished product.
Chip Kidd,
it's a great name. Like the show that inspired it, it's the book is gorgeous to look at and packed full of wonderful material. Do you know what else is packed full of wonderful material, Tom? 2geeks2beers.com.
Yeah.
Which is our website.
34 episodes to go through now.
Yeah, where you can get all our previous episodes and this one on our website. They're also on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. And if you're subscribed on iTunes, you can rate, you can review.
Yes, please do.
What you want is the whole iTunes experience, the whole podcast experience. Don't just listen.
No.
Also, rate and review.
Yeah.
Make it interactive. Be part of the Two
Bump
Geeks
us up the charts, as it were.
experience.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Obviously, you can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Obviously.
At Two Geeks Cast and all of those.
Snapchat coming soon.
I don't think we'll ever do Snapchat. We're too old for Snapchat. I will never understand how it works.
I don't know.
But we are on those things, so please give us a follow on there,
Yes.
and you'll get lots of goodies you might only get on certain platforms.
Ooh.
You know,
Social exclusives,
social nuggets. You know,
social nuggets,
little photos here and there of what we're up to and all sorts. So
and you can also email us, which is podcast@twogeeks2beers.com.
Yeah.
You can say, send us ideas for future episodes.
Yeah.
You might send us feedback.
Yeah.
Why does Morgan only do stuff about comic books? Why hasn't Tom seen Batman the Animated Series? What kind of nerd is he? So anything like that, we'd love to read it.
Why are you doing more gaming episodes?
Yeah. Maybe we will. Back off.
Yeah, all right, mate. Calm down.
You want to stop sending us emails and anything? You're getting too many. I'm overwhelmed. No, to play us out.
Yeah.
There are many beautiful instrumental tracks featured on the soundtrack to Batman the Animated Series, and I'm not going to be playing any of them. So here's Who's the Batman from the Lego Batman movie, featuring Patrick Stump from Fall Out Boy.
Fuck it!
Oh,
yeah, nothing to do with